Good morning, sober friends. If you're not sober, welcome to the channel. I'm Wayne, and I'm an alcoholic. Today's daily reflection for 31 October 2020, avoiding controversy. Let's go. Well, happy Halloween, people. I hope you guys are going to have a very, very awesome day. And if you're not, maybe you need some of what I'm about to put out. Before I begin, today is a very special October 31st. In 2014, I had gotten done about 5 weeks of rehab, and I had one of the first weekend passes to go home that I had gotten since I've been there. Now, I was already a train wreck and, still dealing with a lot of emotional issues that were really bogging me down. So I had volunteered for a couple extra weeks of rehab. And I got to come home and be with my son and my wife. They were still a bit apprehensive about, am I succeeding or am I failing or am I faking? And that was very important for me because I had to prove through my actions, that I am healing. My son and I, we made like this makeshift cemetery on the side of our yard, which maybe wasn't the best option because my mother-in-law, she lives upstairs. And so we did that, and we put some scary music up in the dacha because I have a big old subwoofer in that joker, so we had that playing with smoke and all these awesome lights and everything else, and we just had a great time. It was cold as bejesus out there, but we still enjoyed ourselves. And my time with them has never been greater from that point on all the way until now. And that's because I'm sober, folks. And that's where this whole thing lies with me. And I just wanted to share that. And later on, you might see a video with me wearing a mask or something like that. You can do the deduction of what that video is going to be about. And now we're going to dive on in. Let's go. Avoiding controversy. All history affords us the spectacle of striving nations and groups finally torn asunder because they were designed for or attempted into controversy. Others fell apart because of sheer self-righteousness while trying to enforce upon the rest of all mankind some millennium of their own specification. 12 Steps and 12 Traditions, page 176. As an Alcoholics Anonymous member and sponsor, I know I can cause real damage if I yield to temptation to give opinions and advice on others' medical, marital, or religious problems. I am not a doctor, I am not a counselor, and I'm not a lawyer. I cannot tell anyone how he or she should live. However, I can share how I came through similar situations without drinking, and how AA's steps and traditions helped me in dealing with my life. That's a lot of power in one paragraph, folks. I'm going to refer to this a couple times, and it's very important that I do so because this channel, One Sober to Another, is based strictly on my experiences that I'm sharing with you. And if you get the opportunity to relate to those, then I've done my job. So avoiding controversy, right? It's very easy to, and before I go into that part, it kind of lies in the realm of gossip. It's very easy for me to throw my opinion in there, and it's even easier for me to throw what I think somebody should do, and half my opinion, half my advice, right? Check that cup out, folks. That's awesome. That's my opinion. All right, so it's very easy for me to get wrapped around the axle and think that I know best and become self-righteous, especially if my things are going good. My marriage, my family, my job status, my money, whatever it is. It's very easy for me to think that I'm able to give advice because of the posture that I'm sitting at. Especially here on this channel, One Sober to Another, that is for you, not for me. The only thing it does for me is keep me sober in hopes to help keep you sober or help you get there to where you want to be. In the daily reflections, it says a lot of nations were, torn down and destroyed because of people who were grandiose and thought way too much of themselves and threw their opinions and threw their options and their advice to other folk. Have you ever talked to somebody who was going through some horrible marital things, and you found yourself saying, well, you should do this, or you should do that, or if I was in that position, I would do this? Who the hell are we to tell somebody what to do? It's really not a safe thing, especially if you're not a qualified counselor to give somebody marital advice, let alone throw out what you think they should do. Because that's dangerous. You're messing with people's emotions, money, and hearts. And for us folks, me, the alcoholic, I can't afford to mess with anybody else's emotions or struggles, because I had my own and I have my own. So think about if you said something to somebody and they immediately threw out what you should do. That's dangerous living, man. What if you go into that and you take their advice and it goes sour? I don't know. I'm just saying. Especially if you have the responsibility of, their welfare. And let's, for instance, say that you are in Alcoholics Anonymous or just a recovery support system, and you give somebody the wrong advice. It goes bad for them, they relapse, and they end up dying from that, or they end up killing somebody else. That's something we have to carry around, because we are not lawyers, we're not counselors, we're not doctors. And I've said it in videos before that, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a counselor, I'm not a social worker, all those things. I say that because what I put out here is my experience, strength, and hope. And I can't give you much more than that. I can only hope that you can take away from it. Make sense? I think so. That's just my opinion. That's exactly what it is. So I cannot tell anyone how he or she should live. It's not my place to, my little brother, he goes through some struggles, much of his own doing, but, sometimes life just throws you rotten apples. And he hit me up on Facebook, I think it was, and he needed something from me. And he went into an explanation of why he needed it. Going with avoiding controversy, I'm not above him and I'm not better than him. I just live a different lifestyle than he does. And there was no explanation necessary, because let's say that I did provide judgment on that, or I did throw my opinion to him and it made him feel that much worse, or he even took it and it made his situation horrible or that much different based off of what I said. He might fall into bigger problems than, he has at the moment. Anyway, so he went into this big explanation of what he needed. And I said, look, man, no explanation necessary. I told him straight up, I'm not a doctor and I'm not a marital counselor. I literally told him those words. And I just gave him what he needed at the time. I don't need an explanation, because I'm not better and I'm not self-righteous, and I'm not going to hold a torch to him, based off of what he's going through right now. Food for thought on that. The only thing I can do for him, and which I did, is share some of the stuff that I went through, and maybe part of it will hit a nerve and it will help him adjust the way he's thinking or living, to make him better. I don't know. I'm not in a place to judge people, you know what I mean? Others fell apart because of sheer self-righteousness while trying to enforce upon the rest of mankind some millennium of their own specification. There's a lot of wars that started with people that were self-righteous. Truly, think about it through history. You know, World War I and II. Those were big ones. We had things with dictators running the globe pretty much, and they wanted to enforce upon the rest of the globe their way of life and what they thought was right and who they thought should be in the world. And if you look back through history, you'll see what happened there. I'm not going to go into full length because that'll take forever. The bottom line here, folks, is that we cannot make ourselves this big end-all be-all out of our own self-righteousness, kind of like in yesterday's video, right? Yesterday's daily reflection, live and let live. Live life on life's terms. It's for me, it's very simple as an alcoholic to now slowly take things as they come. The more and more I try to shape things the way I want them, it's the more and more it's not going to be. And that provides instant disappointment and instant regret and instant resentment. And that leads me back to the bottle. So, you know what? I'm not ready to go back in that bottle. I put the cork in it, I'm sorry, my words got jumbled. I put the cork in it, folks. And I'm not ready to go back there. I'm ready to keep smiling and waking up and doing these videos for you and just share my experience, strength, and hope. And for me, I am strictly trying to avoid controversy here. I'm nothing better than anybody out there, and I'm here for you. Life's a garden, dig. Life's a garden, folks, dig it. Man, I'm full of awesome this morning. I'm one sober to another. I'm Wayne. And I'm a grateful recovering alcoholic and just happy to be here with you guys. You have a good day.